Alright, so for this part, I'm going to be going into coercion tactics. Again, I'm reading from my notes if you see me looking over here, so forgive any verbal mishaps, tongue-tied moments, or anything of that nature. I'm going to be getting into manipulative tactics. I'm going to start with a little bit of an anecdote here. On the second Hope police stop, I spoke briefly with the supposed Hope employees, again, gang stalking personnel, at the door. I recorded a video which is not posted on Instagram or anywhere else. One of the Hope employees asked a female if I was seeing anything, and that it was just us referring to the two Hope employees, gang stalking personnel, and the resident who resides here. The Hope employee was insinuating that I was quote unquote seeing things. I've never stated, exclaimed to anyone, or out loud that I have quote seen things. I was in fact looking for where their vehicles were parked because they were not parked in front of the residence or on the driveway or anything of that nature. On Instagram, you'll see images of the Hope employees way down the street next to their vehicles. There's also an additional video of the police roughly 4 houses down making an approach. You will see an ambulance hanging around the corner of the street trying to obscure its view, trying to be incognito. This is just an example of a manipulation tactic. Besides attempting to coerce and force me into the hospital, clearly law enforcement and Hope, again, gang stalking personnel, were trying to state or make believe that I was or am, quote, seeing things, unquote, as well. Next point here, logic. Completely forget about logic. Coded behavior is meant to ensue confusion. If you try and latch onto what it quote unquote means, it will switch. You'll try and go down the rabbit hole contemplating why this is happening and what it means. Do not ruminate on it. You are being targeted. This is gang stalking. Stick to your guns on what you know to be true. Again, forget logic. You want to argue your case and you'll want to be believed. You want to present points as to why such and such is inaccurate and false. Do not do this. They want you to argue so they can drag you down into the mud. To quote Twain, never argue with an idiot. They will drag you down to their level and beat you with experience. Law enforcement will spin information. They will doctor your data. A brief example, during this whole ongoing Hope police debacle during this week, I took screenshots of what the Hope employees wrote down in their notes. That information is in my medical history. I contacted the other resident who resides here and vaguely asked them if they had received the images I had sent via text because the resident was away. They mentioned they had. I asked if the assessment of what were on the images were correct. They replied mostly yes. I hung up immediately. I went to check the screenshot images in my phone again. All 5 images that I sent were completely changed. The text, the main notes only of the text, had been completely replaced. And again, I went to check them because I knew something was completely amiss when I was in that conversation, having known the resident who resides here, the other resident who resides here, and that they're prepped personnel. Law enforcement and gang stalking personnel want to see what frustrates you and use that against you. Avoid getting into detailed arguments and minutiae. You are dealing with highly manipulative people and heinous people. I manage that the bureaucratic construct works like a Svengali. That's a term that I used in the IPR emails to the dean. IPR is the Institute of Production and Recording. On previous videos, I detail kind of how it was the genesis point of this whole gang stalking incident for myself. Do not attempt to make your case to prep people. You will not be believed. I do not know what type of stranglehold they have on prepped individuals, but I do know that there's a human psychological component that comes with humans dealing with authority or authoritative figures. Law enforcement will make it like an episode of many frustrations for you. When law enforcement or Hope workers are questioning you, they want to get a definitive yes or no answer from you. They want to get you to engage with them in conversation in order to coerce. And again, I assume this is a negotiation tactic. Law enforcement and gang stalking personnel will try and avoid all manner of conflict. And then a last note here, just a bit of history. In a novel that I read a while back, The Souls of Black Folks by W.E.B. Du Bois, he makes a statement that the policing institution was originally constructed to catch runaway slaves. Now, I'm not obviously privy to policing origins of other nations or anything like that, but I do think here in America it's something to raise an eyebrow at, and I think it's something to be of concern. All right, that's it for now. I'm signing off.